Hi, I'm Howard Feldman, and I wanted to tell you about some of the courses that I run. I'm not sure if you're aware of something called a power pose. What a power pose is when an athlete or somebody who's successful triumphs. They raise their hands in the air and they express themselves very, very physically. In fact, the studies have shown that even blind people who have never seen a power pose actually do one. So that's quite interesting, because what that shows us is that body language is not always learned. Of course, some types of body language and some non-verbal communication styles are learned, but many of them are not. And what we have to try and understand, and what I like to look at in the course, which is the power, the superpower of perception, is understanding non-verbal communication that is happening around us. But not only that, but also how we can change our own non-verbal communications. Because what we found is that verbal communications actually play an incredibly small role in what we communicate. In fact, it's around about 8%. There's tone and there's non-verbal, which make up the majority of how we message other people. Now that is fascinating. So from the minute we walk into a room, the minute we greet people, from how we shake hands, is our hands straight? Are we trying to be dominant? Are we submissive? We are sending messages to the person with whom we're communicating. Where do we sit around a boardroom table? Which seat do I take? What do I understand from the way a person's micro expression might communicate? There's so many aspects that are so important in any given situation. Very often we know this. Very often, without even having studied it, we pick up on messaging. But it makes life so much easier if we can understand it. Not only do we want to understand the room around us, why somebody flinched when we said something, why they look perplexed, why they're folding their arms, and how dangerous folded arms can be to a presentation, how we can change that, how we get people to open up. These are vital skills in any environment. And that's why, to me, this is one of my most exciting courses, because I take people through that and the world just opens up when they suddenly realize, hold on a moment, I was talking to somebody, but their one foot was pointing in the wrong direction. They didn't want to talk to me. Now, it's not easy to hear that, but it's very important that we understand it. So what we do in the power of perception is we go through the idea of the power of non-verbal communications, how people in a room are communicating without saying anything. And of course, we look at our own body language and how we can change ourselves. So getting back to the power pose, the study was done where they took a group of participants and they gave them a very difficult job interview. They put them in a room and they asked them very boring, unemotional questions and really didn't make them feel very good. Behind a glass screen, there was a panel that was evaluating who they would hire and who they wouldn't. Now, what they did to this group is, before they went in, some of them they made go into the bathroom and conduct a power pose. The others went straight into the room. They didn't tell the panel who was involved and who had done the power pose and who hadn't. And almost invariably, the panel chose to hire the people who had gone into a room and just for 60 to 90 seconds had stood in a power pose position. What did they find? That our own body language influences how we behave and how we feel about ourselves. Come to the course. It's a lot of fun.